podcast for kids. Just chat. Just chatting. Just chatting. Just chatting. Just chatting. Just chatting. Just chatting.
Hello, Music Podcast for Kids listeners. On today's very special episode, we get to meet Tommy Emmanuel. Tommy Emmanuel is a two-time Grammy-nominated fingerstyle guitarist who entertains people around the world as an energetic one-man band. He plays the bass notes, the chords, percussion, and the melody on one guitar at the same time. You can see him teaching how to do this on YouTube. He is one of only 4 people in the world who have been given the title Certified Guitar Player by the legendary Chet Atkins. His joy and love of music is contagious. And now, introducing Tommy Emmanuel.
We have a very special guest with us today on the Music Podcast for Kids, Tommy Emmanuel. Thank you for being on the show.
Well, you're very welcome. Let's see what we get up to.
Yes. So we know you travel a lot. Where do you
I'm not traveling so much.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But what were you going to ask me?
Oh, I was just going to say, so like, where are you in this big, awesome musical world?
Right now, I'm in Music City. I'm in Nashville.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sort of based here. I've been here for 16 years, but I spent the last 2 years living in San Jose, in California.
Oh, okay.
My youngest daughter, she's 5 years old. She's going to kindergarten there, and my wife works for Apple.
Oh, okay.
She's she's doing really well, but it's a big job and pretty demanding for her.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I have a funny throat today. It was worse yesterday. I think it's just allergies or something.
Yeah,
it's that time of
definitely.
year.
It's definitely that time.
Yeah. My daughter and I were just in Nashville this past weekend for a song competition. So I was right on Music Row there. A lot of fun stuff. So, so since we're a music podcast for kids, we always like to ask our special guests how they got started with music. So can you tell us maybe about how old you are when you started playing, or how old you were?
Yeah, you bet.
And kind of where your musical journey took you through your growing up years?
The truth is that I was hooked on music right from when I was 1 day old, because my mother brought me home from the hospital after a couple of days. I was only like 2 or 3 days, and I wouldn't settle down until she put my pram in front of the record player and she put a stack of records on, and then I would sleep wonderfully. And then when the music finished, I'd howl my lungs out, and she'd come and turn the records over, and I'd go back to sleep. So I was already into the sound of music by the time I was, just a few days. And then the next sort of phase was me being able to talk and asking her to turn it over. The first words I said apparently was not mama or dada or any of that. The first thing that came out of my mouth was turn it over. The record, see?
The record,
and
right?
I'm not making this up. This is my mother told me this, and I know she wouldn't lie.
Right.
And then my next thing was when she put the washing in the washing machine. She pulled the lever on the side, and then it started kung 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 kung, and I would come and dance with the washing machine, and it kind of hypnotized me. And she said sometimes I fell asleep against the washing machine standing up. So anyway, I got to kindergarten, 4 years old, and my mother gave me a little 3/4 sized guitar, and it had cowboys painted on it and all that sort of thing. And she showed me how to play some chords. And then I would run across the road from school, because we lived across the road from the school. I would run across when the bell rang, and Mum and I would sit and play some Hawaiian music. She was playing the Hawaiian steel guitar, and I was doing the Hawaiian rhythm like this. Like that, you see? And that's how I started. And then my brothers and sisters took up instruments, and we became a family band.
Cool.
And we entered in band contests and talent shows. We got ourselves on TV, and away we went. And we were in showbiz, you know.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is super cool. So there was an American musician, Chet Atkins, that caught your ear when you were young. What made you stop and listen to him play guitar, and how did that inspire your playing?
If I recall, the first time I heard him, I had, my world went upside down because I heard my destiny. I heard my future. And he was playing a song that went like this. And he was playing everything at once. And I don't know how I knew that, but I could hear that he was playing everything at the same time. And I said to my father, I don't know what that is, but that's what I've got to do. You know, I knew even at that age, I was 7 by that time. I knew the moment I heard him, I said, that's what I have to do. And you know, many years later, when I finally met Chet Atkins in 1980, the first time, he told me the same story. He said he tuned in on the radio, Merle Travis, on a radio station out of Cincinnati, and he said, that's what I've got to do. That whatever that is, that's what I've got to do. And we both knew that was what we wanted to do. But I had no idea how to do it, but I had to figure it out. I started out with a straight pick, and I worked out how to go like that, and then play. So that was the straight pick. And then I did that for quite a while. And I thought that I was doing it the right way. And then I saw a photo of Chet Atkins, and he had a thumb pick on his thumb. And that made it so much easier. Trying to play that with the straight pick. You know, I was like, I wish I had more fingers. But anyway, yeah, he was a great inspiration to me, and it still is.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, now, with your guitar playing, there's something very unique about your style playing the guitar. You're a one-man band, like literally. So could you walk us through the process of how you play all of the parts that would normally take a whole group to play, but you're doing it by yourself?
Well, yeah. So, say, for instance, you have a bass. Right, there's the bass, then the drums, then the chords, and then the melody comes in on top like this. Here's the bridge.
That was amazing. That's great.
And the crowd went mild.
And, and there's a funny joke I've heard you say on stage that you say something like, imagine the money I'm saving up here.
That's right, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Once I get all those things going, I say, think about the money I'm saving up here.
Right.
That's amazing.
So we'd like to dig into a couple of things you've said that are pretty profound. The goal of our music podcast for kids is to teach the world about the amazing language of music. And you once said that songs are our teachers. So what do songs teach us?
Songs teach us to be adventurous and that there has to be order and method. You know, the song, if part of the song is doesn't satisfy you, then you have to find a better way of doing it or write something different, because it has to be, every millisecond of the song has to be the right thing. And so we learn about what's important when it comes to writing songs. You know, if there's any area of the song that is weak, it'll stick out, you know. And I can always tell that, like when a young person plays me one of their songs that they're trying to write, and they're excited, they're very inspired, and they're trying to write songs, especially guys who try to write songs that are a bit like mine. A lot of times they settle for less, and I always tell them, you know, you've got a good idea going there, but it's not complete yet. It's not fulfilling. So keep working on it and make sure that you tell the whole story. Because basically what I think is, like when I'm writing a song, I don't think like a guitar player at all. I think like a band. Mm-hmm. So I never think that I'm just writing a song to play on the guitar. I'm seeing the whole picture. And I quite often try to imitate piano by using certain shapes, like instead of playing, I might play and put the third in the bass, which automatically gives it a piano sound, you know.
Yeah.
There's a song of mine called Old Photographs, which goes like this. I'll play a little bit of it for you. So it's like a piano part. It sounds like I've learned a piano song. So I do those kind of things, and you know, trying to get a melody that really sticks out. Like if I play something that's a little more difficult than that. Right, so there's a lot going on in there,
Awesome.
but you can still sing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I almost imagine the left hand. I could hear that boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, the back and forth.
Yeah, keep it going. Yes.
Yeah.
And I practice with a metronome, so I'm like a machine out there.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I've noticed in my life is that there are people who have false confidence, and they think they know better than me or better than a lot of people how to play in time. and they're usually always the ones who speed up and slow down the most. And they're not even aware of it, you know. So that's why you got to use a metronome, and know what time is, you know.
Wow,
Because when something's fast, it's got to stay fast.
Right.
You know, and also I notice in some songs, you can move the time around a little. There's a song of mine which has a chorus. So like that, and I notice it every time I do that. I slow down. When I play it with the metronome, I get behind it. And it's just, I've tried to correct it, and I can't. It just seems to be that's how it's meant to be.
Right, exactly.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I have a tuner that I carry around the world with me in my case, and one side of it's a tuner and the other side is a metronome. It just goes tick, 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 tick. And it's just good to check on it, and it's good to be honest about real time.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, it does create a situation where, because I'm so sensitive to time, it's hard for me to find another player who won't slow down or speed up.
Right.
You know.
It's kind of like having perfect pitch almost, a bit. Having good time.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you're having a good time.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, when you were, you said that when you were a kid, you wanted to be in show business, but now you want to be in the happiness business, and you say, I make music and you get happy, and that's a good job. So
that's right.
When was the transition, when you just start working in the happiness business instead of the show business?
I think, you know, when I started to work on my own, I realized that it's up to me, you know, to be in a place where it's really making me happy to play the music. And if I'm happy, I think you're going to be happy. And really, it's all about leaving the ego out of it, you know, and finding a way, because we were brought up in a country and in a culture of a lot of competition and a lot of people worrying about people's opinions and all this sort of stuff. And you got to learn to grow out of that and just do what you do, and do it honestly, and do it with a lot of love. And so when I play, I'm playing the best I can, and for the right reasons. I want this music to make you feel great. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want that when I'm playing, that you're not trying to dissect what I'm doing, you're just letting it flow over you. And that's what I'm hoping for when I'm playing to an audience, you know. Yeah. I don't see the technique, I feel the music. Without technique, you can't express yourself properly. So you need to work on your abilities all the time. Yeah. Right? And what a lot of young people don't realize is that it's a lot harder to play something really slow and meaningful than it is to play a fast song. You can train a monkey to play fast, but to play something, you know, like for instance. something simple like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to play than the stuff I played before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's got a lot of energy, but it's
Oh, totally.
very
Yeah,
subtle.
it's great fun. You know, playing with a thumb pick it's great. You can do a lot with it. You can play that in the left hand on the piano, right?
Yep.
But if you play it that style. There you go.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
Merle Travis's Saturday Night Shuffle.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so cool. Yeah,
Thank you.
and like the joy that does come through from your
Yeah.
playing. I mean, I'm just sitting here with a smile on my face the whole time. You know, it's just
Right.
amazing. It's
Well, we're in the
it's
happiness
so cool.
business.
That's
right.
right.
That's the goal.
Exactly. Yep.
You know.
So
the good thing is that I know it's not me. You know what I mean? I don't have to carry that. You know, it would be a fatal mistake for anybody to say, I've won all these awards. I must be the greatest. I must, blah blah blah. It's like that'd be the worst thing to think that I have to be known as the greatest of all time or whatever. Blah blah blah. All that stuff is total waste of time. You know, you just got to. What you do is you show up, dress up, and do your best.
Right.
And that's it. That's where it ends, you know. And I know when I play, if I'm playing well, I know that everybody's going to have a good time, and that's it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for glory. I'm looking to do a good job.
Yeah.
If I do a good job, that's what fulfills me.
Yeah.
That's what makes me happy.
yeah.
So, you know, I don't have to carry the burden of trying to be known as the greatest or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Put all that away and leave the ego out. In fact, the musician's prayer is a wonderful prayer. It says, make me a hollow reed from which the pith of self has been blown, so that I may be a clear channel for your love.
Wow. Yeah.
That's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
So-
about being open to what the higher power
Yeah.
has in store for us.
That's right. I feel like you probably answered this last question that I was going to ask you. But, so many of our listeners are kids, and I mean, you've given us some wisdom already. Is there anything else that maybe specific to kids as they start to, learn and explore music?
Well, like we said at the start, songs are our teachers. So make sure that you're learning songs that are teaching you the instrument, making you look for the chords and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And play what you like to play. Don't just play what everyone else plays. Find what you really enjoy playing and work on it and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I didn't care about anything else but learning the next song. Of course, I played games with my friends, and I went swimming, I went horse riding, I did all sorts of stuff like every other kid. But when I came home, I had got my guitar out, and I was a serious guitar player. And really, you're not going to get anywhere with it unless you are dedicated and very determined. So, follow your instincts, but remember that everything takes time. The problem with our world at the moment is that everything's instant gratification about everything. And I'm afraid real life is not like that. Real life, it takes ages. I've got to sit here today. I've been playing the guitar for more than 60 years, and I've still got to sit here and work out everything slowly and then practice it up. And repetition is my friend. You know, I use the same thing over and over and over until I can talk to you and play like that. See, there was a time when I couldn't do that,
Right.
Because I had to work it out. But I can do it now, like eating a sandwich. But everything is nothing comes easy. It's all hard. So just get ready for that, and you just go through it meticulously. When I'm teaching people, I teach them bits at a time.
Yeah.
And put it together.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Tommy Emmanuel, we want to thank you again for your
it's a pleasure.
your great music, and just for taking the time to chat with us on the Music Podcast for Kids. So we really wish you all the best as you take your one-man guitar band around the world. We really appreciate your time.
Let's go get them.
There you go. That's awesome.
Well,
thank you, guys.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
Great. Thank you so much,
Likewise.
Tommy. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Time to wrap it up, folks.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Music Podcast for Kids.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and most importantly, learned something cool today about music.
Remember to send in your jokes or even a topic in music you would like us to discuss by visiting our website, themusicpodcastforkids.com. If you are interested in awesome educational and fun songs for your kids to listen and sing along with, please visit brucefight.com. Music is available to download with iTunes, CD Baby, and Facebook, and most streaming platforms like Spotify and Amazon Radio. Links will be found in the show notes.
If you are interested in learning how to play the piano with a fun and engaging curriculum geared toward kids, please subscribe to Mr. Henry's YouTube channel called Mr. Henry's Music World. Links will be found in the show notes.
Please visit iTunes to leave a review of the podcast and also share the podcast with friends, relatives, aliens, whoever.
Again, we thank you so much for tuning in.